What's going on, y'all? This is Greg. Greg said it. Back with Inspiration Motivation. We had a nice live today as normal. If you are not subscribed yet, make sure y'all subscribe so you can catch the lives. We typically do them once a week, at the end of the week on Sunday, throughout the off season, throughout the season. We also have our lives on Thursday with B Watts. Some of y'all may be familiar with. But, I was looking at Well Off, and we were looking at some of the recent videos where he was showing behind the scenes at the East-West Shrine Bowl. As you all may know, like several guys from Colorado went to this bowl, several went to the Hula Bowl. That's just some of the influence that Coach Prime has really with both bowls, because he was in the Hula Bowl and they kind of like, hey, we want you to come here. So that's the exchange they had. He got his guys some looks there. In the Shrine Bowl, I'm hearing that he has some connections with that as well. And he was able to get a lot of his guys there. And one of the biggest things that people forget is why people go to Colorado. A lot of players go to Colorado because they want the exposure, they want the opportunity. And yeah, we think about a lot of these bowl games, Senior Bowl, things of nature. I don't think they have anybody Senior Bowl this year. I think that's some of the three major, well, I think it's 4 bowls that's like known. And these bowls are like the last chance for some of the guys, and it's a great opportunity to be able to show what you can do, to give you a chance to go to the next level. Yeah, people like Shador don't necessarily have to play in the game or whatever because they have so much tape and so much steam going ahead with these number 1 picks, these first round picks. But opportunity is not that easy. I mean, it's hundreds of schools, D1 schools, Division II, Division III, and all these guys, I won't say all, but a lot of these guys, probably even most, will have the ambition to go to the next level. I think every person probably would take it if they could. But I think one of the biggest things that limits them from going forward is exposure. When you think about Coach Prime at the Jackson State, at SWAC, HBCUs, they always talked about the lack of exposure and opportunity. Like, oh, these guys are talented. They're just as talented. They just don't have the opportunity. And that's what he was really all about when he was there. That's what most of these guys want at the end of the day. They want that opportunity. We know it's a small chance and a small percentage of people who make it, but you sure don't make it without the opportunity. And you see that many guys, really all of them except one. You see Jimmy came from South Florida. You see LeJounte came. And you can see Weaver last year. He made it. I don't know if you get those same looks. I mean, they all perform well, but it's something about that spotlight and performing that gives them the opportunity. That's exactly what they were looking for. Sometimes people get overlooked because they say, oh, you're at this school, you're at that school. Or you don't have nobody like Coach Prime to advocate and say, hey, I want my guys in this bowl game. If y'all invite my guys, they coming here. If y'all ain't invite my guys, we ain't going there. Y'all gotta invite multiple of my guys. And not only did they have a good season, not only have they produced, but now they get to get the chance. It's on them now. It's on them to have a chance to interview for the scouts, show the scouts what they can do firsthand. Yeah, a lot of these guys probably seen them at practice. That was an opportunity for them to get seen. The number of scouts that was at practice during the season and at the games, that just don't happen everywhere. And sometimes I think people in Colorado take it for granted. Maybe eventually, it depends on how long this goes. People start to take it for granted and they forget it was a time when that wasn't happening. It was a time where it was a span where Colorado wasn't putting people, even though they had a rich history, that they wasn't putting people in the league. And now they back into it. It's all about exposure. I can't help but to think about just everyday people. So many people want to be entrepreneurs in this day and time, like YouTube and all that. What people don't realize that it's not always about who's the best. It's about people knowing who you are and knowing that you're the best, or one of the best. And a lot of times, the people who make it have the best marketing, the most marketing dollars, the most relationships. to get the exposure. And it's a lot of people who fail in business because they simply didn't have the opportunity for one reason or another. And we see that in sports. We see that in jobs. Like, you probably could get the job, but you didn't know anybody, or you didn't have opportunity to interview for it. Everything is about opportunity. Everything is about exposure. And that's one thing I've always respected. That's always something I recognize. Coach Prime, he speaks that language. He understands it. He uses that in his recruiting. And his whole spiel is centered around y'all talking about the NIL, about NFL. So many guys, talented guys, miss opportunity because they go after a brand or a program who really don't need them. They may get the opportunity, may not. It's just easy to get looked over. It's easy to get looked over in a situation where I think people's motive is different. People's perspective is different. And a lot of programs is not about the players. We know that. It's about the big name coach. It's about the school and its history that it really is going to go on with or without you. And people, it's easy to forget about the people who, what's in it for you. And when you lead with what's in it for you and you produce results, that's a good thing for Colorado. It's a good thing that he's practicing what he preaches. It's a good thing that he's delivering on what he promised, which is to get you that exposure. And once you see a couple rounds, you see Xavier, you see these boys from lower programs, and you see these guys get in the NFL. They're just not big name guys, but guys who came from the smaller schools to prove what they can do and produce. That's a positive thing because they do it. The bigger names can do it as well. But it's about, you standing, your brand stands for something in Colorado, and you actually doing it. And that's what I like about the whole thing with the East-West Shrine. You see a manifestation of what Coach Prime talked about since he's been there. But when he came from the FCS level, it was all about, hey, I'm going to open the door for some of these guys to do something. And I think with the history of some of them being overlooked before, it's a good thing. And I don't know if they would have got the opportunity to go to these bowl games. I don't know if they would have had the opportunity to get to NFL as good as they are. This is a hard path. Shout out to them boys. Shout out to Colorado. Shout out to Coach Prime. And it's only up from here. What's going forward with the next group, the next class, and the next class. And hope they continue to build on it and eventually develop a reputation that, hey, this is what's going on. Giving people opportunity. We all value opportunity. But I'm just Greg what Greg said. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all share, subscribe, comment, and I'll be talking to y'all soon.